Good afternoon and welcome back to Belgrade, Serbia. This is the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournaments. It's Tournament A and game day 3. We're going to watch Australia take on Korea. That'll be the ball. Good to know we've got that ready to go. Sitting at midcourt, and Australia coming off I thought a really solid performance against Serbia. And Korea, who have already, by virtue of their victory over Brazil, which was a thriller. Remember, they also had a tough loss to Serbia on opening night. They will also go to the World Cup, where that beautiful piece of hardware, the trophy, will be available to be won. Who will it be? Well, anyway, in this group, Serbia, top Tournament A ahead of Australia, then Korea and Brazil, who do not, despite their great improvement from day 1 to day 2, do not have a chance of progressing. And again, this is the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament here in Belgrade. So I am Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn and the Ivan Raposo Trophy. It's great to have it here in Belgrade. Just reminds us of the prestige of that great tournament that's going to be held in Sydney, Shona. And these two teams, well, Australia already knew they were there as hosts, but this was an important tournament for them, and maybe an even more important tournament for Korea, who had to clinch a spot in the 12-team tournament, the World Cup.
Number 3, Lee Soo-kan. Number 4.
You said it, Jeff. I mean, we know Korea are going, Australia obviously already going. It doesn't mean that Australia don't want to come out and try and get this win here tonight, especially after maybe a disappointing, frustrating loss to Serbia last night. They didn't have a lot of time for recovery, excuse me, but neither did Korea. And Australia does have a little bit deeper bench than Korea. It's exciting. I think Korea want to prove that they deserve to be going, so they're going to go out and try and get a win tonight as well. I mean, Korea, they have been a staple at these major tournaments, Olympics, World Cups for many, many years, but so have Australia. And I think, I mean, in my opinion, from watching Australia the last couple of years, something's changing. And I like what I see from this Opal squad. I like the attitude. They're bringing back that old, gritty, starts with defense, sharing the ball on offense kind of an attitude that we're used to seeing from many great Australian teams.
And I could not agree with you more. I think the Opals, they've kind of gotten over the disappointment of a very difficult 2021. And I say difficult because they made it to the quarterfinals of the Olympics. They finished 3rd at the Asia Cup. Actually, I think maybe the healing process started at the Asia Cup after, because they did well to get to the podium there. That was a tough tournament. And with a lot of players that might not be considered first choice players, but these players have been sharp, focused, laser focused, and playing well. So now we're going to have the playing of the national anthems.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the national anthem of Australia. Dame I gospodo, pozdravite sada I himnu Australije.
So just 4 minutes away, and the coaches, Jung and Brondello, shaking hands, and also other members of the staff and referees. I wonder who's refereeing the game today. Well, Boris Krejci in the middle from Slovenia is here. Felipe Ibarra from Chile is here on the left, and Salah Gamal Harnoubi from Egypt is here on the right. Surveying the court and looking at the teams as they go through their last warm-ups, and they certainly are going through their last warm-ups. Look at that. Korea out there running around, and Australia loosening up after last night's tough game. Both of these teams had hard games against Serbia and also Brazil. I mean, that was a tough game for Park Ji-soo last night. She said she felt like she had been in a car crash right when it was over, because it was so physical for her going up against Erica and Camilla, especially the way they really surrounded her, put their bodies on her. Kang Lee-sul was terrific last night, number 3. Park Hae-jin, number 7. Bae Hyun, Kim Danby, of course, always tough, putting the ball, getting to the basket, and Jin An gets the start tonight, perhaps because Park Ji-soo, who's coming off the bench, felt like she was in a car crash after last night, and the fact that they have qualified.
Yeah, I saw her warming up, Jeff. She looks a little sore, not quite moving like we've seen her move. Let's not forget that historical triple-double by Park Ji-soo.
Coach Jung there looking over and smiling. The pressure is off. Tougher games ahead, but still an opportunity to come out and put together a good performance against an Australia team which has really shown up here with, I don't know if it's a new attitude, but just kind of, they've kind of just rediscovered, feels like, who they are, and that is tough. Sammy Whitcomb, Steph Talbot, Beck Allen, Darcy Garbin, Kayla George in the starting 5. Darcy Garbin's played very well. Steph Talbot, of course, ejected last night after an unsportsmanlike foul, but she was playing great before that. Shyla Hill, Tess Magin, Maddie Rochi, Wallace, Smith, Blitzaz, and Tolo coming off the bench for Coach Sandy Brondello. And there's Sandy Brondello on the right, next to Cheryl, and of course her husband Olaf, who's an assistant coach, standing behind the bench, Olaf Long. And it is an opportunity, Shona, for these teams. You got to make the most of these opportunities to be together, whether it's training camps, whether it's games. It's an important event.
Yeah, you know, you and I talking to the Australian players before the competition started in the hotel, right? They said, we need games and we need games together. Yes, we know we've already qualified. We're hosting the event. But this is a great opportunity for us to get a few games as a team, as a group, under our belt. And I think every team is feeling that way. Same with Korea, you know they've qualified, but an extra game, you just become that much more in sync with your teammates. And also for a coach, you get to look at some different lineups, some different, matchups, what you think might work. You'll get to see maybe some big areas that need improvement with these games as well.
So historically, Australia have won the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in 2006, of course, famously in Brazil. And Korea, when they hosted it back in '79, they made it to the final. Also made it to the final in '67, did Korea, when it was staged in Prague. Australia also have had other podium finishes. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome, and we are underway. Green and gold of Australia attacking the basket to the right after winning the opening tip going up against Korea in this FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament. Both teams already will be in the 12-team tournament in Sydney. Sammy Whitcomb driving in.
Good job, nice patience there by Australia on offense, moving the ball. They definitely have a height advantage.
Congley Soul, who was hot as a firecracker last night, misses. Good to see Sammy Whitcomb moving around. She kind of rolled her ankle last night. Kayla George puts it up and in. And without Park Ji-soo out there, not really any intimidating size to speak of for those Opals to go up against. Jin is their big, and number 27 hits it at the free throw line. Now the dump to Kayla, who misses and then puts it up and gets it back, and just wanted to get a couple of extra offensive rebounds. Puts it up and in.
Padding her stats.
Lowering her shooting percentage in order to get more rebounds. Bounce pass, Steph Talbot knocking it away. Tess Madgen has her pass stolen by Kim Danby, and up to Jane again. So when she was making that pass, it looked like she was shooting. I was like, wait, what's she doing? I'm a little bit disoriented here. Here's Sammy.
Sammy Whitcomb.
Yeah. Kayla George again, and ball hit out of bounds. Kayla George looks at the ref and says, isn't there a hack here? Look at this. It's like, oh, she's trying a 3/4 of the length shot, but it was a pass to Jin. Here's Beck Allen. Because of the drop, maybe just the finest that Beck Allen has played for Australia ever in these qualifiers. She has looked very good. And also Talbot for three. Much debate about what happened last night with Steph Talbot, who had her back to the players. You look at her missed three, and she was ejected. She had the unsportsmanlike foul. Should she have had the ejection as well? And speaking to the referees, they say, yes, she had the ball in one hand on the right, and she swung with her left elbow, and that made it clear to them that she had to go. But again, not something that you often see a player get ejected. And here she is. And George misses, but Darcy Garbin there putting it up and in. Garbin points. I just wonder if we'll see Park Ji-soo. The fact that she hasn't started.
Yeah, I'm again, she did warm up. I saw her warming up. She was not moving great. I mean, in this tournament, Jeff, she's averaging 35 minutes. Park Ji-soo not on the floor right now. 14 points, 12.5 rebounds to go along with 7 blocks a game.
Wow. Three is an air ball from Kim Danby. Yeah, she just had an extraordinary triple-double yesterday. I mean, that was...
in foul trouble as well.
Yeah.
11 blocks she came up with.
Kayla George fouled as well by Park. So timeout called by Korea. Australia on top early, 13-4.
Jeff. Australia doing a good job. They definitely have a height advantage, but I think we see that they're getting the ball inside, their offensive rebounding. Kayla George already with 6 points. Korea have not found the bottom of the basket with their 3-point shot so far. 0 for 3. It is a shot that they strongly rely on, which we have seen. They average around, I think it is 23, 24 3-point shot attempts a game.
You know, Coach Jung Sun-min played for Korea's national team for many years, and as recently as the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup back in 2010, which also I think you played at, right?
So, yeah, so she...
And the block shot, here comes Australia, but you guys did not play them at that event.
I mean, look at this. You have Coach Sandy Brondello, who played, you know, one of the famous Opals. Coach Jung from Korea. I like it. I think it's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Keep it in the family.
Hustling for the basketball.
And again, great defense by Australia. And Jeff, this is what I've really liked from the past 2 games about this Australian team is the intensity on defense. I think it's something that has been lacking, and now they've picked it up. They understand what they need to do to be a team that's competing for medals. And a lot of it is going to come down to their defensive production. What can they do? How can they affect another team's offense?
Yeah, Spark does not get the shot off.
So did Brondello and Coach Young play against each other?
It's funny you should ask, because I was just looking, and yes, they did.
They did.
Yeah. Yeah, they played like at the 2002 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in China. Australia were decisive winners in that game, 91-63. As you see the rebound. Lauren Jackson had 31 points in that win, going back. She was really taken off at that point. Here is another 3 attempt, and Kayla George fouled. And in that game, as you look at the replay here, when Australia played Korea back in 2002 at the World Cup, so you had Sandy Brondello. She played 15 minutes. She was getting closer to the end of her career, had 5 points, 2 assists. And Jung Sun-min had 19 points. She was their center, played 32 minutes. And now the turnover, and Korea will get the basketball back.
So, again, you know, something a little worrisome that we saw against Australia, they are prone to consecutive turnovers in a row. And it really, we saw it last night. Turnovers late in the game is a reason, one of the reasons that they lost yesterday to Serbia.
Although they were facing enormous pressure. I mean, yes. But it was a tough old game last night, Australia-Serbia, and that looked almost like a travel by Korea. So Khan goes out and Yoon comes in. Yoon trying to inbound the basketball, does to Jin, and puts it over the rim.
Actually, a lot of time left on the shot clock. I think they probably could have found a better shot.
Rochi, and Garbin puts it up and in.
Good job there by Rochi to Garbin.
Missing from deep and rather Choi missed that three. Korea got it, and not sure what they're going to call here.
I think they're wondering if the ball hit the rim or not. Take a look.
Did not hit the basket. Hit the window.
What was the score clock? Shot clock, sorry.
I don't know. This is a long conversation. Where would you like to go for dinner tonight? I think I'll probably just stay at the hotel. Just have to anyway, because it's a bubble.
Okay, so I think they're saying that there's
12 seconds.
I thought they changed it to 11. Nope. Staying at 12.
You would think Korea does not want to fall any further behind, trailing by 12 points here. They need to start getting some production. Start putting the ball in the basket. Yoon, feet set. Bam!
Heard you. Agreed with you.
Ooh. Rochi over to Steph Talbot. She might just, she's got to, Australia needs Steph Talbot to be at the level she is if they're going to do something at the World Cup. You feel like that.
Yeah, we mentioned yesterday she missed out on about 26 minutes.
Rochi, good! She'll get some of that homemade lasagna after that one.
Nona Rochi, apparently the best lasagna in the world.
And Park driving in, missing, and now Steph Talbot. Garvin. Good hustle by Korea to get back on defense, but it is not looking good right now for the team from the Far East.
We talked about the shot blocking of Park Ji-soo, but Mariana Tolo has also been averaging just under 3 blocks a game. So I'll just get a block down there.
Ooh, traveling Alana Smith. I thought she played very well in the first game. Didn't really get it going yesterday, Alana Smith, and had a slightly shaky start today for whatever reason. Another player that Australia could really get, would really benefit if she plays well at the World Cup.
Imagine takes a tumble.
Good job by Steph Talbot to reach in, but then she throws it away, trying to get it to Rochi. And Park, and the foul on Tolo.
Good job by Park, protecting the ball, forcing Tolo into a difficult situation.
Shona, right now, Australia are 3rd in the FIBA rankings, FIBA World Ranking, and Korea are number 14. So, you know, these, you talk about what is the significance of this game. Well, it impacts the draw, it impacts the rankings. So there are things at stake in this game, not to mention the fact that players have opportunities to show their coaches what they can bring to the team and why they merit a spot on the World Cup roster. Rochi gets it to Alana. Nice, silky smooth turnaround jumper.
Nice inside-out action there by Australia. They do need to realize the height difference, the advantage they have inside the key.
And Yoon can't get it to fall. 24-8. The Opal is off and running. And now going the other direction. Ooh, almost the backcourt. Jin from the baseline. Close to the baseline.
So Korea here, making a little bit of a run. In my opinion, a few too many unforced turnovers by Australia.
Ooh. And a foul on Korea. That is a tough assignment for Jin there, because they've identified the mismatch purely on size. When Tolo raises her hands, you can see it hits her right in the hands, and Jin has no chance of getting that basketball.
Yeah, I mean, Jin, she's 5'11", 182 in centimeters, going up against Tolo, 6'5", 196.
That's a considerable difference.
Just a little.
Rochi just grazed the net. Pass down low and getting it up quickly, but missing was Choi. And then Alana Smith is fouled.
I think that's going to go against Jin, no?
Yep.
That'll be her second.
Yeah, she was definitely fouled. But, you know, what you have to remember, if you're looking at this in terms of a size mismatch, don't forget that Japan face similar issues often. And it doesn't prevent them from really get out and beating teams. Although today they did fall to Bosnia and Herzegovina. And now the foul. I guess Korea would rather see Australia go to the free throw line. And it pays off. Alana Smith misses the first. $15 points. The difference, Korea just 10 points in the first quarter. They have struggled to put the ball in the basket, to put it mildly. Imagine, just the hands up, and Park had the ball, but didn't control it. Wallace, Christy Wallace in the game, looking at the options, and ball batted out of bounds with 8.8 seconds. Alana Smith, it's a long two if it drops. And, oh, good try by Sammy Whitcomb to go up with a tap. But Australia on top, 25-10 at the end of the first quarter.
So, take a quick look at the stats here. You know, Korea known for knocking down their three-pointers, and so far they're only 1 for 7 this afternoon. Australia just dominating inside. They've already made 16 baskets, more or less, I would say, right around the key. And it's the advantage that they need to continue to utilize and punish this Korea team. Obviously, we do know, and it looks like, Jeff, I'm not sure Korea fans are going to see Park Ji-soo play tonight. I know she did warm up. She hasn't been in the game. It doesn't really, in my opinion, look like she's going to check in. She still has her long sleeve warm up jacket on, so that's unfortunate because obviously Park Ji-soo with that incredible triple-double yesterday, points, rebounds, and blocks in helping her team overcome a comeback by Brazil for Korea to win by 2 points, allowing them to qualify for the World Cup. Australia, you knew Australia after, I think they were frustrated and very disappointed with their loss last night to Serbia. And I'm not surprised that they've come out here and they want to make a statement. They want to prove that they can get beaten up and then come back.
Well, get the QR code, folks, into your smartphone. Put it up there right now. You can get it because it will give you complete coverage of the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournaments. You'll find a comprehensive blend of content, including the latest news, live stats, photo galleries, and video highlights. Whitcomb's pass, batted, but Wallace alertly picks it up, and Tolo tries to go up. Blitzow's back outside. Majin. That's got to be frustrating for Korea to almost force a turnover and then to give away a 3.
So Korea basically playing a 5-out kind of offense here. It's what they need to do. Oh, nice pass.
Oh, boy. You know, we were talking to Tolo last night about her shot blocking, and she got a couple there.
And she did mention to us, she might have just been over-exaggerating, but that she, at least at one point, held the record for shots in a game in the WNBL, so the National Basketball League in Australia, at, I think she said 13. Sammy Whitcomb.
Wow. Tickled the twine. And I thought Tolo had 6 blocks in the opening game, but she was right. She only had 4. I don't know what I was thinking about 6 blocks.
We're giving her too much love.
Yep. I'll have to own up to that mistake. Here is Park.
So Park misses that, but a foul called on Majin, I believe, before the shot attempt. Let's see here. Well, yeah.
Just kind of fighting through the pick.
Kang.
Kang So!
Nice 3-point shot by her. Her first of the game.
She had many last night. I think she had 5. 3-point shot.
Big ones for them.
So one thing about Korea, they can get back into the game in a hurry if they can knock some 3s down. And they're having a problem with Australia's defense right now that's very alert. Look at the quick passing.
Wallace to Blitzaz, nice speed, nice momentum, fast break opportunity for Australia. And that's something that I like to see right now by this Australian team. They're pushing the ball. They're trying to look to get quick scores, good quick scores early.
Oh boy, Bay comes up with a steal and is then fouled. And a chance for 3-point play. Sammy Whitcomb grabbed her on the arm. Comes out. Tolo goes out. Shyla Heel checks into the game. And Beck Allen, or is it, in fact, Kayla George comes back into the game. Beck Allen was already in the game. And Bay sinks the free throw. I think it does illustrate the problem that Korea has, that if Park Ji-soo is not able to play big minutes or even play, they are just without a major weapon. They are very heavily dependent on their star.
They really are, and it's also not just their star, Jeff. I mean, height-wise, as soon as Park Ji-soo is out of the game, they don't have a single athlete over 6 feet after her. You see number 5 for Korea has checked in.
Lee So-hee
getting her first opportunities in this tournament to play.
Also Heo, their 20-year-old number 2, plays for the KB Stars.
But like you said, it's a good opportunity. Heo. It's a good opportunity. These two teams know that they have qualified, so I'm not surprised that we're seeing, you know, the bench players get some minutes, and it's a good opportunity for the coaching staff to evaluate certain players who don't play as much in these kinds of games.
Christy Wallace, she's fouled. That reach by Lee So-hee. And George has 9 points. Traveling is the call.
Tough call there, going against Korea. Number 13, Lee.
You want me to ask you a quiz question?
Yes.
Christy Wallace on the court right now for the Opals. Where does she play college basketball in America? So she's putting it up. And George with the rebound, gets it back to Wallace. And the three-pointer is good from Shyla Hill. Shyla Hill showing it yet again.
Good job there by Australia keeping the ball alive, and another turnover by Korea. Okay, where did Wallace, can you give me the state, please?
Texas. So now that's narrowed it down to about 100. You got 100 schools to choose from. Think basketball school in Texas. Really good basketball school.
But there's more than one right now.
There's been what has been the most dominant, really.
Texas Longhorns.
Well, in recent times. Baylor.
Oh, Baylor. She went to Baylor, really.
Yeah.
I do know Sydney Wallace. It's great to see her here in this tournament, competing for this Opal team, because she has had 2 ACL surgeries recently, back-to-back seasons. So for her to be back looking as in shape, as aggressive, as fearless as ever is something great to see.
Okay, the George. Oh, how did she do that? Look at that. And look at her. Wallace is feisty. Look at the quick pass. Oh, boy. That was good work. I think Sandy Brondella will like that connection there.
Great job.
You can see that Wallace can play. I mean, she is good. And that player right there, Darcy Garvin, has done herself a whale of good as well. You could be looking at 2 players that'll be on that World Cup roster. We'll see.
너희들이 언니들보다도 페이스가 떨어지면 안 되잖아. 빠르게 밀고 치고 나와, 달려. 그렇게 해서 스피드를 내서 드라이빙, 아니 빨리 주고 움직이고 공간 활용을 잘하라고, 와이드하게 넓게 서서 안에 둘이 자꾸 좁게 서 있지 말고. 그리고 신장들이 작으면 박스해야 될 거 아니야. 몸을 대고 있어야지. 그걸 잡겠다고 뜨니까 뒤에서 걷어가려는 거야. 더 철저하게 몸싸움을 해주라고. 바디 체크하고 할 수 있어 충분히. 자세도 낮추고 적극적으로 하라고. 그리고 왜 공격할 때 서둘러? 안 되면 더 치고 나와서 정확하게 턴오버 하지 말고.
So Korea fans left a little disappointed now, trailing by 24 points. I think it's fair to say.
I mean, again, you know, I think having Park Ji-soo not playing this game is a big reason why they are trailing by 20. She just changed the dynamic of this Korean team, offensively and defensively.
She does, but I do like the fact that Australia are in the business right now of having good habits and playing hard, because they've got to have that mentality every time they step onto the court, and you're seeing it right now despite being up so much. Doesn't matter who it is, they are getting after it. Now, Khan. Kayla George, quick pass over to Talbot. She gets it to Kayla George, who can't control it. She goes out of bounds.
Very, I guess you could say, graceful fall by Kayla George.
Well, she doesn't want to hit the hardwood too hard. Year-old Heo gets it over to Lee. And Khan can't get the drop. Boy, this could be a real ugly score for Korea if it keeps going the way it is. Here's Wallace. Nice pass back to Garvin. Oh. Garvin missed the layup. Heo, Shyla Heel not giving an inch. Watch this. There's two young players. Oh, she did well. I mean, she was moving her feet. She reached out. She got the hand on the ball. But Heo gets to the free throw line. Great minutes from Wallace. She goes out, and Rochi comes back in. She's pleased with herself. Look at that. Pleased with the additional minutes. There's Talbot again. Bounce pass to Talbot goes in. Boy, that was a beautiful bounce pass. Backdoor cut. Lee misses, and Garvin knocks it into the hands of Heel. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Talbot. Oh, nice passing from the Opals. Bondello has to be happy with what she's seeing right now.
Yeah, you said it, Jeff. Nice passing, sharing the ball. Everyone's scoring for them. Everyone's taking opportunities as well. You know, we've seen it with Wallace, Heel, Rochi.
You saw that kind of hop from Korea. It seems like that could be something that could be called a lot against them. The travel.
Yeah.
Park is going to come back into the game, but it's 45-17. And boy, nice finish by Steph Talbot.
Great pass by Kayla George.
The funny thing is, you know, Steph Talbot went out last night. They kind of lost their lead during that sequence late in the first half, but then they went back in front without her. I think on balance, you have to say that Heo hits that shot. Had Steph Talbot played last night, it might have been a different result. I mean, you don't know. But I think she's that important to this Australia team. Here she is, the way she's playing right now. Lana Smith, George. George is having herself a game, isn't she?
Yeah, she is making up for a rather poor, I would say, shooting night over Serbia yesterday.
Yeah, she wasn't too happy with herself after that game. He's got 13 points right now. Here's George. Look at her pass it back outside. That's what I like about what they're doing is they are not settling for rush shots, bad shots. They're making good passes, crisp passes. And Kong is, Kayla George says, of course you got to call that. Watch this. Did you ever have passes where your coaches just did not call fouls? So you just played?
You just played through it?
Yeah.
I mean, if you have ever gone and commented, well, back in the day, it was the FIBA Americas Championship. Now it's called
That's
the
kind of how it
America.
was.
It was a physical contest. And so it was Argentinian players, Brazilian team.
Good D from Korea, but they couldn't get the basketball. So they do get it because Australia didn't hit the rim. Are you saying that those were physical? There was more physicality allowed in the old days? Not the old days, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. This tournament, I think, has been very physically played by every team here. But yeah, I definitely remember there was a lot of contact, a lot of holding, grabbing. Not by every team. Litzavs comes up with the steal. Again, another nice defensive possession by Australia.
Talbot gets it down. Nope. Rochi picks up the loose ball, takes it all the way. They're crashing the boards. Alana Smith. And Australia are already past the half-century mark. Still got a minute to go in the first half. And Park missing, and Alana Smith, and boy, they reach in and Park takes it away, and then Alana Smith takes it right back.
Rochi was maybe open.
Now Park comes forward. Another chance for Korea. Ooh, almost a travel. And free throws awarded. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, 1. Couldn't quite tell there. Jen takes a moment to tie her shoes. But it has been one-way traffic. 51-19, Australia wanting to go back home on a high, at least those that are going back down under. Oh boy, when you're having a tough game, the free throws do not go down, but Korea get it back for another chance. Final seconds, ticking off the clock. Heo sees it and puts up the layup, but that's kind of how it's been.
Yeah, nice little hesitation. Good job getting to the basket. Unfortunately, Heo just was not able to convert.
Oh, there's a tired-looking Australia. They've been putting in the effort. They lead at 51-20 over Korea at halftime.
So Korea only 2 of 12, Jeff, from three-point range, and they're known as a three-point team. First quarter, I would say Australia were doing a good job getting the ball inside. Then they started to hit some outside shots, 6 of 13 from three-point range. They have a huge height advantage, and you see this even in the rebounding. Offensive rebound, they've got 33 rebounds already in this game compared to just 12 for Korea. maybe a little concerning is the 9 turnovers. I know Korea quick, they get up, they use their hands, they move their feet, they can disrupt some passes. But again, we saw just in this first half, consecutive turnovers by Australia, and against a better team, and when you don't have such a big cushion of a lead, those things can be really damaging moving forward. So it's got to be a point of emphasis, I think, for this Australian team when they do head back down and start thinking about the World Cup. You know, what are some areas that they could possibly work on? And I think one of them is going to be taking care of the ball.
What do you think in terms of Sandy Brondello and her mindset right now with respect to her roster? You know, do you think she has an idea of 9 spots, 8, 10, 11? But, you know, Ezzy McBeggar, you think would probably come back into the team?
I think definitely McBeggar, I think she deserved to be on the team, and she's also someone who's going to be around in the future as well, right? So you want to give her, you want to let her continue to grow and to have big experiences. And she's already proved that she can compete at this level with the senior team. So I do think that we will see her. You know, they're missing Nicholson, O'Hay. I'm not sure if these players will be back in the mix. Next training camp, Jen O'Hay, remember, they're
of course,
captain.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be interesting to see which direction Coach Brondello decides to go in. You know, again, point guards, I think Sammy Whitcomb has done a great job for them and has done all she really can for them. But in my opinion, she is a combo guard. She's a great shooter. And in certain situations, you want to have your best shooter off the ball, being able to come off flare screens, stagger screens. And when you're a point guard, you know that there's a lot of responsibility. It's going to tire her out having to bring up the ball against pressure. We saw it against Serbia, and then her sprinting off a stagger after doing that, and also her having to pick up full court. So we'll see. I'm not sure if that's an area of concern. I think it's good that we're seeing Rochi and Hill getting more playing time today.
Who will you become when the moment arrives and you're carrying the expectations of an entire nation, representing your people and their dreams, the colorful faces in the streets, the screaming fans in the stands? It's time to make your move. All eyes on you, all hope, all heart. Because when you win for all.
Passes it all the way to Plum on the opposite side. A beautiful curler in for Plum.
And now look at Alex step into the pass, take it away, give and go, puts it up and in.
5-second shot clock differential, a little bit more. Don't want to foul. Oh, nice.
What a finish.
Wow, what a deep Charlton has to throw up the three, gets it!
Unbelievable. Carlton, sensational shot with the shot clock running down.
Sabella, ooh, high dribble. Oh, gets swatted by Jisoo, by Park Jisoo. Gotta get the three, or they're gonna foul him so they don't let him take it. Nope, they get the block shot, and that's how it finishes, incredibly. Well, Serbia's defense in the end.
Defensive effort by Russell. Drill 2 going the other way. Collie with a little showtime.
shot clock winding down.
Johannes likes this. Oh, you have got to be kidding me! Johannes outdoes herself yet again.
Quinones throwing up a Hail Mary. Tracked down by Gray. She'll let the Stampede go past her. Feed down
Great
low.
pass.
No look to
Beautiful.
Andy. Wow.
Okay, she's got to hurry, Mukamara. She does get it off in time. Oh, she's got it! Promise of Mukamara! A three-pointer just as she crossed half court. We have seen some basketball magic right here. Jian, the leading scorer, 27, getting maybe more opportunities today with Park Ji-soo taking a rest. She has 7 points, 3 of 6 inside the arc. Also a free throw, and again, with this game already at 51-20 in favor of Australia, it's doubtful that we'll see Park Ji-soo if she hasn't played already. So probably see some more of Jian.
Yep, I agree with you, Jeff. I don't think we're going to see the veteran young superstar. Park Ji-soo, 23 years old, has averaged a double-double for her team. Big performance over Serbia.
And Kayla George, who has come out and played very well today, not just from her scoring, but also her passing and overall performance. In fact, if you want to know all of her stats, Kayla George, 13 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 block, plus 17. So she's leading the way completely for this Australia team from an efficiency standpoint, plus 17.
Yeah, what I like about Australia is, one, I think defensively they're still, you know, they're getting up, they're being aggressive, even though they do have such a big lead. And I like that. They haven't backed down. They haven't backed off. They know it's somewhere that they want to be considered a top team in the world. And they're working on it, and they're continuing to work on it in this game. But what I also like, Jeff, is we have 10 players for Australia who have scored. So they're really doing a good job sharing the ball. They already have 18 assists as a team. So they're just playing completely unselfish, you know? Yeah, Kayla George, top scorer, 13 points, 6 to 10, 6 rebounds. But that being said, she hasn't really forced any shots. So, you know, just taking advantage of what's given to you and sharing the ball, creating for each other. So really, in this first half, good job by Australia. I can't imagine anything really changing. I think they want to send a message. I think they want to continue to get better and continue to improve. And to do that, you have to play with a high intensity 40 minutes of the game. So they still have another 20 minutes left.
Yeah, I think more than anything, they know that you can't just turn it on and turn it off. You got to be able to play hard every time. And I don't know. I mean, it's it's kind of like the message has been, the reminder has been sent out every time you play for the green and gold. You go out and you value that opportunity, and we are seeing it today. guess a lot can happen between now and September, but do you care to venture any early guesses on who's going to do what? I guess we don't know yet officially who's going to make it from Washington, D.C. group.
We do know that from Osaka, obviously Belarus did not attend the event and thus forfeited their games. So Japan, Canada, Bosnia, Herzegovina are moving on. So we will see them in Sydney in September, along with, so far in this group, we know Australia, Korea. The game before this, Jeff, we saw Nigeria hang on for a 2-point win, I believe it was, against Mali, who just stormed back in that fourth quarter and made things very interesting. So with the win for Nigeria, Nigeria have also booked their ticket. China was the first team to book their ticket here in Serbia. France, we know. France became a little bit more complicated. They had to do some calculations, which took me a good 30 minutes to understand them. So we do know France are moving on. Brazil, unfortunately, will miss out on the second World Cup in a row for them. And they missed out on the last Olympics as well. So we know Coach Jose Neto needs to go back home, figure out what's going on, how can they get better, because it is a team that, you know, up until maybe the last couple major competitions for FIBA, you were used to seeing Brazil in World Cups in the Olympics, and now they're questionable.
Well, Jose Neto won't be going home. He'll be going to Angola, where he coaches Primo de Augusto, but he does need to, I mean, you know, I think it seems like they've taken at least now you can see where Brazil are going to get better after how they played in their last game against Korea. It seemed like they took a step forward, but, you know, had they shown up and played better in their opening game, they might be playing for something today. But it took them a while to get their feet under them, and
looks like the Australians have lost something on the floor.
I mean, if you had told me before this tournament, if you had asked me to project what Australia could hope for down under, I would not have said a podium finish. But after watching them play here, I think that is definitely attainable, getting to the podium.
Yeah,
and you know, they can have a big World Cup.
I agree with you.
They've got time.
You're playing at home, so you do have that kind of home court advantage. Surrounded by friends and family, you know, you're going to have a lot of fans cheering you on.
Park Jisoo will be there and hopefully playing there. She's not playing today, you could see.
But I agree. I mean, I definitely think going into this World Cup, top 4 finish for Australia after this performance here. I know they lost to Serbia, but after this performance here, I think is attainable and should be a goal for this Australian Opals team.
And you were talking about Nigeria and how they made it, but you got to bring some context to it as well, because they showed up here with no preparation. They showed up basically with an 8-strong rotation. They showed up with no true point guard. And they showed up with some players that haven't even been playing really competitively, and how in the world they actually booked their ticket is something else. And it's one of the great accomplishments for Nigerian women's basketball. Let's just put it this way, for those players and for that coach. And, you know, they were talking about if they get the right preparation, if they're given the right preparation and the backing, they will be good. So second half action underway here. Australia in command, 51-20 over Korea. Traveling, the call on Hill.
So another traveling call. Like you said, they kind of hop a little after they catch the ball.
Beck Allen passes back outside to Kayla, and there's the offensive rebound. Oh, why didn't Garbin go back up with it? Surely she's got to go back up with that one. I mean, there was nobody there.
Should have been an easy putback for Garbin.
See that hop? It seemed like a hop to me from Jin. Now the ball gets away. Bounce pass. Good play by Korea, but they missed the layup. No look pass. Yoon misses. Good job, Jin, knocking it away, but then the ball goes out of bounds and back over to Australia.
Great job, Jin. Almost came up with her second offensive rebound on the same possession.
You can see in the corner of the screen over there, Blitzow's playing that tennis ball game again. She's having to, obviously it's something to do with her physical, her fitness, not fitness, but making sure she's rehabbing something, I would imagine. Whitcomb, does she travel or they take the foul? No, she's going to the line.
So good job there.
You can see on the replay, it was definitely a foul. She was being draped by the Korean defender.
You know, again, Hyo, number 2 for Korea, hasn't played yet in this tournament. So for her to get some playing time, she's already played about 10 minutes in this game so far. I think it's a great evaluation opportunity for coach to see, you know, what her younger talent can do.
Looked like Kayla George might have been hit trying to go up for that putback. She was just a little frustrated. But no call was made. Park. Can somebody get hot for Korea? Nope, they turned it over.
We also haven't really seen Danby, Jeff.
We saw her early.
We saw her early, and she's been a big reason for Korea qualifying for the World Cup.
Oh, yeah. Well, that pass was a difficult one to control, but Sammy Whitcomb got it, and now she's fouled. Steph Talbot drives in and earns a trip to the free throw line.
Good job here in the second half. Australia starting strong, trying to get to the free throw line. I mean, it's tough, Jeff, because Korea, they are so undersized going up against this Australian team. They're competing, they're fighting, they're giving everything they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think Australia have the size advantage, but I don't think that's necessarily why they're, I mean, they're giving the effort as well, so. Good defense from Kayla George, knocking it out of bounds. Have you played in games like this, where you've already qualified and you have to see it out?
Not many.
You guys usually left it pretty late. Oh, nice drive. Good job by Lee.
Left-hand hook shot almost there by Lee. Her first 2 points of the game.
And offensive foul setting the screen. Kayla George. Oh, she wasn't moving that much. Kayla's definitely a little agitated, not getting some calls and then having some fouls called on her. Traveling on Park.
So without Park Ji-soo, number 1, Park Ji-yeon, is actually their second tallest player, Jeff. And she's listed at 6 foot, 1.85 meters. She does not seem like she's 6 foot to me. I think that's a generous 6 foot with her heels on.
Right. She looks shorter than all the Australian players out on the court right now. Steph Talbot. And this time, Garvin does put it up. And the ball goes back out to Talbot. And Beck Allen dribbles it off her foot, but it goes to Kayla George. Shot clock winding down. Nice pass to Garvin.
Most of these Australian players do play in the Professional Australian League, WNBL. Season's on a pause.
Nice. Three-pointer.
Nice three-pointer there by Yoon. And all of the Korean players do play in Korea as well. So both countries with a pretty good domestic league.
I've never been to Korea. Have you?
I have not.
So Beck Allen comes out. Kayla George and Tess Madgen comes back in, and Tolo. Been to Japan, been to China in terms of the Far East. And I would like to go to Korea. Oh boy, you had the layup, missed it, gets it to Park, and it pays off in the end. That miss, that three-pointer. So we're back to a 56-28 deficit as the teams retreat to the benches for a timeout.
Just make it a focus. They've got 2 balls already. They're flying in. So the guards, even stuff like
Hey, come on here. Okay, we're a little bit better than that. We're just, come on, they're pressuring us. This is a good time for us to keep working on our game. Now they're pressure in the back court. Go screener in the back court. Run a drag in the back court. Doesn't matter. Pass it ahead if someone's open. Go run a drag there. Okay, the drag, the circle could be a pinch too, post player. Okay, pinch it up, flash it. Or just get into your horns and play out of it. Horns can include horns flare. Okay, because now we're getting stagnant trying to run some plays. They're getting up and in us. Okay, we've got no spacing. But still out of closeout, out of ball movement, get on your front foot and dribble penetration. And then over help, we get volume, we've got a layups. If they come, good. But defensively, no open threes here. Let's go, come on.
Sandy Brondello being very assertive in the timeouts, and again, just kind of saying what we've been saying, speculating. I guess we shouldn't have to speculate, but the fact is it's an important game for them. They need to work on their weaknesses. You know, they were kind of overrun late by that defense of Serbia last night, or at least they didn't handle that pressure too well.
Yeah, absolutely, Jeff. You know, like she said, it's a good opportunity for them to work on this pressure, being defended and pressured defensively. So
Madgen gets in the paint. Now they scrap away for the rebound. I'm not sure there's a bigger fighter out there than Talbot right now. I mean, she's just like asserting herself. There she is, number 27, Jin.
good job by Jin. High-low look, Garvin is going to be fouled on the pass attempt, I believe.
Yep, you can see that in the replay. And so Garvin goes out, as does Whitcomb. Alana Smith back in, and Urochi. Talbot. And good rebound. Nope, has it knocked out away, or she fumbles it away. Alana Smith. And they're reaching the foul. So young Heo, the 20-year-old backup guard coming in, hadn't played at all today, is going to the free throw line.
Good job, nice aggressive drive. You know, it's hard, and it's good practice for the Australians because they have to guard quick penetrators. So you can't help so you know, you have to be ready to defend one-on-one, but they're quick and they move a lot. They move a lot without the ball. But then they also have really good shooters. So you can't overhelp and close the paint, you know, and then recover back to your player, because as soon as you give them a centimeter of space, the Korea players can get their three-point shot off. So I think this is really good, you know, also practice for Australia.
And Jen fouls Steph Talbot, who's going to be helped up and appears to be in a little bit of discomfort over there. Got her, was it in the thigh with the knee? Is that what it is?
I think she hyperextended her left knee a little bit.
Oh boy, you don't want to see that out of anything, the way especially she's been playing.
I mean, the one advantage, you know, come off. She doesn't need to go back in. They don't need her.
Yeah. So hopefully she's okay.
She is staying on the bench, so that's a good sign.
So Christy Wallace has a chance to take her free throws and misses the first. Makes the second. On the baseline, good attempt, but Wallace knew the pass was coming. Vulture stick her leg out. Yep. So yeah, pretty much the second unit now, and even into the third unit for Korea. Tess Madgen. Rochi to Tolo. Ooh. Rochi. Oh, foul on Alana Smith.
Moving screen.
Jen, open. Rochi just kind of little runner there.
Hesitation to a runner for Rochi.
Park just kind of stumbles as she makes contact, but let's dip in and get it. Hill hits a three. 61-34 in favor of Australia, coming up on the 12-minute mark. And the dump down low to Smith, who sees Wallace open. Well, Australia missing some jumpers right now, and I guess when you're up this big and you've already got a spot and everything. Obviously, you want to make as many as you can, but it's not a disaster.
Yeah.
So Blitzav's back into the game and replaces Tess Magin. And constantly moving and fighting for position, and Tolo feeds Alana Smith, who did well there. And fouled while attempting the jump shot is Jen, as Blitzav's puts her on the line. Yep, watch this again. Yeah, I think she kind of left her leg out there, yeah. Good job, Jen, making that. Shyla Hill's coming back into the game.
Full court pressure here. Into a 2-3 zone.
Shyla Hill.
Deep three-point shot.
Yep. Yoon. Boom. There you go.
Good job by Yoon.
24 points, the deficit now.
So second three-pointer of this quarter.
To get it to Smith. And Jen was trying to get out of trouble there. It's a difficult position when you go up and get the rebound. You come down, you're surrounded by 3 yellow shirts. Watch this. Oh. Who do you give it to? Tolo, soft touch. And Steph Talbot at the bottom of your screen walking back out, so she seems to be walking better, which is good news. Still maybe she won't play, I don't know. Hopefully she will. Now Jen. Final seconds and fouled by Tolo. Is that the defense that you teach her?
Yes, foul shooters. Yes.
Jen sinks it. Oh, Jen's going to be in double digits today. Points.
6 seconds left. 6.6 seconds left in this quarter. They gotta go. Blitzavs.
She does put it up, and pretty decent look under pressure. So here come the Opals out to welcome the players back to the huddle. That's a nice sign right there. So at the end of 3 quarters, Australia on top 65-41 over Korea.
Well, you you know, Jeff, Korea aren't backing down. They were able to make 4 3-pointers to bring up their average slightly in that quarter. Australia still incredibly dominant inside the paint. I think, you know, hats off to Korea coming out in this third quarter. They outscored Australia 14-21. 21-14, sorry, they outscored Australia. So good job, good determination by them. You know, it's hard when you come out and you're down by so much. What do you do? But it's also hard, you know, mentally in a way too, when you are up by so much to come out and give the same effort and to just stay focused the entire time. But like Coach Rondello said in one of her timeouts, like, hey, come on, you know, this is stuff we need to work on. So it's a good opportunity. We're seeing both coaches go deep into their bench. Everyone for Australia has played, as well as everyone available has played for Korea. Obviously, Park Ji-soo's not playing today. So I like that. I think it's great that we're seeing some other talents get an opportunity.
Care to venture a guess at the rebounding? You're not guessing. 45 for Australia, 17 for Korea. Scan in the QR code for live stats and more, folks. It'll take you to the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup Qualifiers website and give you everything that you need to stay up to date on this as teams book their places in the World Cup. That'll be in Australia, in Sydney. Both of these teams will definitely be there. Australia already assured of a spot as hosts, so Korea also did a good job of booking their place here, getting a big win over Brazil. And Alana Smith swats that ball away as we go into the fourth quarter.
You know, you talked about that rebounding deficit. Just with having Park Ji-soo not play, you're missing 12.5 rebounds.
Yeah, true. So that would that be 12.5 less for Australia and 12.5 more?
I think it would be, you know, yes, something like that.
Okay, they hustle down the floor. Nice break. Oh, boy. She's got to make that. Shyla Hill on the break. And Hale misses.
But Jim with another offensive board. She's very tenacious when she crashes the offensive board.
Yoon fouls Blitzives.
And Jin with her 5th offensive rebound, I believe.
Tolo over to Wallace, and prefers the runner than to the jumper, or the short jump shot rather.
So Wallace with her first bucket. She did make that free throw, checking in for Steph Talbert in the third, but that's her first basket of this tournament for her.
Jin, hooping and scooping and getting fouled by Alana Smith. 15 points now for Jin. Knew the contact was coming. So Wick coming for Wallace. And 3-point play, so 16 points. And a good shooting percentage as well, 5 of 10, also with 5 rebounds. So Yoon goes out and Park comes back into the game for Korea. Park Ji-hun. Two-three zone for Korea. Offensive foul on Alana Smith. Well, did you see it? It's so difficult to set those picks and screens, isn't it? Without
especially
getting...
on someone smaller.
Okay.
Not sure Smith really moved a lot on that screen.
Garvin back into the game, and Smith goes out. Shot clock winding down for Hale, and good job. Oh, alert play by Park. Gosh, she made that attempt with her left hand. She knew that there was no time to spare. Quick pass off. What a touch pass by Garvin. Good play.
Great unselfish basketball there by the Opals.
Heyo. And gets back to the free throw line. She had left for feet. Yeah, Heel reached in and looks like she got her on the arm. Heel will inbound the basketball. And good break for Korea and the 2 points.
Nice fast big basket there by Lee. Again, another player getting an opportunity to play in this game. Watch out.
She didn't get it across. I don't think the ref saw the
8-second shot clock there.
I mean, it was close, but
it was close.
Pretty sure she didn't get it over. So Blitzev skims the net, grazes the net. Well, Korea going to have to rush. Heyo again shares the basketball, and the hustle. Lee Hyran got it back. And good defense by Heel to reach in and knock it away.
Defensive effort. Hey, good sign here, Jeff. Look who just checked into the game.
Steph Talbot.
Yep. We saw her exit with a little bit of a knee scare, I believe. But no, she's back in. She said, Coach, I'm good to go. Put me back in.
Park hit a 3. Now down to 18-point deficit.
I mean, this second half, it's been all about
the Korea hustle. And 3-point shot is good. And the reach and the travel on Park. And the pass down low, and nice reverse layup made by George, and for one thing we've learned about Garvin is she does make some good passes.
Yeah, I actually think all the bigs for Australia really
They have passed it well.
Yeah, they've passed it well. Not just today. Oh, Park! Give me that.
Well, Park is certainly doing her bit for Korea. Somehow Whitcomb threw that ball up into row H. Ball slipped. We're going to have some more action coming your way. France against China will be next. And then finishing things off, Serbia, Brazil. And the foul called. Sandy Brondello telling the referee what she thinks about it. Watch this. Yeah, that's you can understand Sandy Brondello on that.
I think it went against Kayla George. She's letting her.
She's got every right to vent after that.
Her thoughts, well known. I mean, if we can hear them, Jeff.
So Korea benefit from that call, and now putting the foul called. He's getting a little bit feisty from the Australians, and you can understand why. They're losing this second half, and they want to play. And you can see the Brondello's a little bit hot under the collar. She's had to open up that collar a bit. Steam is coming out. Beck Allen misses the jumper.
Beck Allen hasn't played too many minutes tonight. Only has 3 points in this game. Park.
No.
Lee.
How about Lee? Another three.
And again, great job by Korea. Jeff, what was the score of our last game, Nigeria and Mali, with 4 minutes left?
Well, I remember they were down. Weren't they down 20 at the end, at the beginning of the quarter, and they came back?
Yeah.
And now it's a 15-point lead for Australia.
Good shots. It starts with defense. We're allowing too many open looks. Set flares. The flare screen should be a switch now. They're making threes. Okay, stay in place, and then no more foul on the shooter, please. Okay, just move your feet and then let them just go. Beat them to a spot as much as we can here. Okay, let's look. They're getting us out of here, but we've got our post players here. We need the post players here. Okay, because once it comes back here, flash, fill, go, attack it, and then get into it. Okay, get good shots every single time. The middle's open. We can play it, you can cut it, don't force if it's not there, and then go screen on the ball if you need to. Okay, well, we pull this
Australia came out with the right approach, and they played hard, and they're on top at halftime, and you know, you're blowing them out. You're blowing Korea out by 34 points, and I don't know, you tend to relax. Maybe you don't execute as well. You turn it over, you rush shots. Maybe you don't get a few calls to go your way, and the next thing you know, your 34-point lead is down to 15. And suddenly these young players from Korea have something to reflect on, to say, hey, we cut a 34-point deficit down to 15. And they're feeling better about themselves. Beck Allen. And good tap. Well, she's definitely good. She plays a little volleyball, I think. That quick little tap, and this time the air ball goes out of bounds, and Jean could not get it.
Beck Allen a little short on her last 2 shot attempts, but she has spent
most of the time on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm not surprised if she's maybe a little bit cold.
It's going to be Sammy Whitcomb. That's going to be off.
Rare wide open miss by Sammy Whitcomb. Oh.
They keep it. 17-point lead. Korea need to look for threes. They get one from the park. Nope. Talbot alone in the right corner and hustle. Oh, last thing she needs is to pick up another injury.
Right idea there, I think, by it was Garbutt. Nope, trying to pass it in. To George.
That foul on Lee. How are the Opals reviewing this performance? It's kind of it is one of those awkward games where there's not a ton to play for. Ranking points, seeding, look at that, Beck Allen with the steal. But that said, the way Australia came out, they came out all guns blazing. And Taylor George brings it up. 15 points, 8 rebounds, hands it off to Beck Allen.
I mean, again, I think it's been a difficult game to play in for Australia. Like you said, having that lead. Kayla George, her three-point shot's F. But Garbutt there, unable to come up with it. You know, it is a tough game to kind of play in these type of situations. Obviously, Korea not playing with their best player, Park Ji-soo. And I think Australia came out and made a statement and played well, and then maybe just got a little relaxed. And not saying they didn't play hard, I think they just relaxed a little bit too much. Maybe lost a little bit of their intensity.
Yeah, they were laser focused, and then they were just focused.
Yeah.
Garbutt to George. Heo. And can Korea make this final score more respectable? Trailing by 17.
I mean, talk about a respectable score. I think it is respectable considering what it was at.
Yeah. Certainly the jumpers haven't been falling for Australia. They're now 7 of 26 from three-point range.
No, and you know, at halftime, I believe Whitcomb.
There's one. She must have heard us
They had only
bemoaning.
attempted, I believe it was 9 three-pointers at half or something like that. So maybe settled a little bit too much for outside shots. That's what was given to them, especially with the zone late, almost this entire fourth quarter here by Korea. Oh, nice.
Nice play by Lee. Lee Haidan, one of the youngsters. Good pass intercepted by Jin. Ooh, double dribble. I guess she just picked up the loose ball. Here's Lee again. Australia can attempt one more shot if they want, or they can just hold on to it, and they will. That's it. And the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualifying tournament has ended for Australia and Korea. As the coaches shake hands, Australia can reflect on a 79-61 win over Korea.
So Korea, who rely heavily on their three-point shooting. Did end up making some threes in this second half, Jeff. While I think Australia maybe settled for shooting the three-point shot a little bit too much there in the second half.
Oh, Kayla George is smiling, so obviously. And we already knew they were there, but they're going to get some hats anyway. FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup qualification tournament, qualifying tournament is over for Australia. Now they can don those fantastic caps that sparkle like much of their performance in the first half today and overall at this tournament. And good food for thought for Coach Brundello as she heads back down under. And all these players, there you go. Good eye, mate. They're coming home.
Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Oi, oi, oi. No, so a great job by it. I mean, I was really impressed with Australia, especially after what, you know, we talked about, the issues, the pandemic, which affected absolutely everyone in the world.
Yep.
And then, you know, obviously last summer, the troubles that with Liz Cambridge and how that maybe affected the style of play and how things just moving on. You know, Tokyo Olympics, I'm pretty sure, was a disappointment by them. They did make it to the quarterfinals, but...
Well, safe to say that Korea probably, Park Ji-soo feels a little bit better today than she did after yesterday's game. She's got the smile. They will be, I mean, for them, it's mission accomplished. They came, they saw, they clinched their spot in the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. So they will be at the field. They can get better between now and then, and they will be dangerous against a lot of teams, you would imagine. As you mentioned, you alluded to it, the Olympics, they were really close.
Yeah, they were. You know, they barely lost to Spain. I think it was 4 points. They almost beat Serbia.
Just digest the numbers. We'll let you look at those. Look at the rebounds.
Yeah, really rebounds. I think an area of concern, I talked about this before the game, during the game, turnovers for Australia. It affected them greatly yesterday against Serbia. They had 19 turnovers today. Yes, do I think Korea can pick up, put a lot of defensive pressure, cause some turnovers? Absolutely. But 19, way too much. You need to take care of the ball.
Coach Jung, she's looking good with that hat, isn't she? She's wearing it low. Like she's going to deliver a fastball. And Sandy Brundello also taking a pose with the coaching staff. I'll tell you, they love those hats, don't they? It really brings the smile out. Fantastic. Nice presentation. It's going to be a lot of fun, the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. And, you know, you got to take part in these tournaments in your career. That's what you want to do with your national team. You want to go and you want to experience places like Australia. I mean, the last time they hosted the World Cup was back in 1994. So they did have the Olympics in 2000, but since then, not a big international tournament for basketball from a senior national team standpoint. And the times that I've been there, Shona, they get behind the national team. So that will be a big help for Australia. And I assume Korea will take some fans. They had some here the other night when they were playing Serbia. And Park Ji-soo is just going to rest a little bit more. She's going to sit down.
She did take her warm-up shirt off, though, for the photos.
So here we are. Congratulations to Korea. We knew that they had qualified for the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. Ultimately, getting one win. They beat Brazil. They lost to Serbia, but boy, did they give Serbia a hard time. So congratulations to them. Well, the second half was really a lot about Korea and their young players coming out, and their coach just said, hey, listen, we've qualified. I need to sit down some of my veterans who've played a lot of minutes. Now you show me what you can do. And they showed us quite a bit. You know, they were down 34 points. They got it down to 15 with about 3 minutes to go. So they played well. Australia had effectively put this thing on ice when they went up by 34 points. At least we thought, but it did get interesting at the end. At least in the last 5 minutes. So Matty Rochi getting to play. Heo getting to play for Korea. And Wallace certainly also getting the minutes. So Korea, again, they get one win, but it was enough. I think everybody pretty much anticipated beforehand that the big game for them was going to be against Brazil. And they scraped that victory against a very determined Brazil to book their ticket to the World Cup. So great effort from all these players. They'll now return home, or they'll return to their clubs in Europe, and will pick up their domestic campaigns again. And they'll always have one eye, though, on the World Cup. You can believe that. I'm sure that the coaching staffs will be monitoring things, and hopefully everybody stays healthy and is able to give their best as they try to make that final roster for the World Cup. And the celebration photos again for Korea. So here it is, Australia go to 2-1. Serbia, who have won both of their games. Remember, they won against Australia last night. They're second, Korea are in third, and Brazil 0-2 will play their last game tonight against Serbia. So final time, 79-61, Australia win it over Korea.